Here are the answers to Monday's task. You were asked to look at the weighing scales and the measuring scales and give me the mass of each of the objects. So if we look at the cake, and we can see on the scale that the arrow is pointing to 2 kilograms. The bag of apples, looking round the scale, the arrow this time is pointing to 1 kilogram. The bag of rice, we have a scale where we only have the digits 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So we have to look at the numbers either side of the arrow to work out that this is 9 kilograms. And again, we have an arrow pointing to a marker that doesn't have a digit. So we look either side, we've got 4 and 6, and we can see the arrow is pointing, the needle is pointing in the middle of those, so we know that that's 5 kilograms. And which is the heaviest? We've got 2, 1, 9 and 5 kilograms, so 9 is the biggest number, that's the heaviest, and the lightest is 1 kilogram, the bag of apples. And the next task, I asked you to draw the needle on the scale to show the correct weight. Now, both the cauliflower and the cheese weighed 3 kilograms, but I've given you scales with different measurements on them. So you had to really pay attention to where those digits were. So we look here, the 3 kilogram marker on this measuring scale for the cauliflower is this down here, pointing at the number 3, whereas on the cheese there was no digit 3. So you had to look round the scale, there's 2 and 4, you go right in the middle because 3 is between 2 and 4. To calculate the mass of the bottle of water, we could see that each side was equal to 4 kilograms because we had 4 1 kilogram weights on this side, and we had the water and 1 kilogram on this side, and the scales were balanced. So to calculate the mass of the bottle of water, you could take 1 kilogram away from this side, which would mean this side would then be heavier. So you have to take 1 kilogram away from this side to balance it again, and then you can count up 1, 2, 3 kilograms on this side. So the mass of the bottle of water is 3 kilograms. The challenge, the mass of the bananas is 1 kilogram. Can you balance the scale? So the scales weren't balanced. However, we knew that this side was 2 kilogram and the bananas was 1 kilogram. So to make it balanced, you could add 1 kilogram, 1 kilogram weight, to the side with the bananas, and that would have balanced it up. Or you could have taken one of these away, and you would then have had 1 kilogram on either side, and it would have balanced it up. So well done if you spotted both ways of doing that.
Good morning, Year 3, and welcome to Tuesday's Maths, where we are going to continue learning about maths. And today we're going to learn how to compare masses in kilograms. So, first of all, we're going to look at 3 different parcels, and they are on 3 different
sets of measuring scales. So parcel 1, we can see, if we look at the scale, we've got 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kilograms, and the needle on the weighing scale, the measuring scale, is pointing to 3. So we know that the mass of this parcel is 3 kilograms. The next is a balancing scale. The scale is balanced, which means this side and this side are equal masses. And we have a 2 kilogram weight on this side, so we know that this parcel is 2 kilograms. And on the third measuring scale, we have a slightly different scale. So we can see the numbers, the digits 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 kilograms, but the needle is pointing to the space immediately in between the 6 and the 8. And we know that 7 comes between 6 and 8, so this parcel has a mass of 7 kilograms. So when we're going to say about comparing them, we're going to think about which is the lightest, which is the heaviest, and put them in order. So have a think about that, pause the video and try doing that for me. Putting them in order from lightest to heaviest and heaviest to lightest. I'm just thinking about how you would work that out. So we know parcel A has a mass of 3 kilograms, parcel B has a mass of 2, parcel C has a mass of 7 kilograms. So therefore, We know that 7 is the heaviest because it has the most mass, and 2 kilograms is the lightest because it has the least mass. To work out how much heavier partial A is than partial B, we would simply subtract the mass of partial B from the mass of partial A. 3 take away 2 is 1, so we would say partial A is 1 kilogram heavier than partial B. Now, if we're going to work out the total mass of all the partials, we would simply add the mass of each, 3 plus 2 plus 7, and we can see I've got a nice number bond to 10 here. 3 plus 7 is 10, plus 2 is 12, so the total mass of all the partials is 12 kilograms. And if we're going to put them into order, beginning with the lightest, we know that 2 kilograms is the lightest, then 3 kilograms, then 7 kilograms. So the order is partial B, partial A, and partial C. You might be able to see some other ways that we could compare those partials. Have a go. If you can, make a note of it. And we'll have a look at today's task for comparing and ordering the mass of the objects. So, first part is I've got a lovely cake and some bread. I'd like you to tell me the mass of the cake, the mass of the bread, which is heavier, and how much heavier, and then give me the total mass. And then the second part, we've got 3 partials, partial A, B and C. I'd like you to tell me the mass of each of those, remembering to pay attention to the scales, which is the lightest, which is the heaviest, and then arrange them in order of mass beginning with the lightest. And then I've got a sentence that I'd like you to complete here. Partial B is as heavy as how many of partial C? And then I've got a little challenge here for you. Again, we've got an unbalanced scale, and I would like you to tell me how you could balance the scale. Now, there may be more than one way to do that. See if you can come up with more than one way. But if you can manage to work that out, that's great. And we will go through the answers tomorrow.